What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Wow, what a Pats game, right? You guys watching the Pats game? I don't know. They scare me a little bit sometimes. I was texting back and forth with Mazza through the entire game. And then when it got to the end, about what they had like 30 seconds on the clock, I said, I don't know. The Bengals might win this one when they were driving down, but the Pats took control of it and won the game. So it was pretty good. Really good game. I just don't like the fact when these like really tight games on these teams that they should be blowing out. I hate it. It absolutely makes me nervous, but a win is a win, right? That's all we got to do. Just find a way to win. Nice to see everybody here on this Sunday evening. We're going to go through and play through the Brian Higgins cross-examination, and I want to start doing this with all the defendants that are named in Karen Reed's civil trial. And by the way, just about an hour ago, launched on X by Nick Rocco. Karen Reed has now started a civil defense fund. So if you want to donate, you can donate. I was just looking at some tweets a little while ago. The Testify, the McCabe's website, they've already garnered about $20,000 in donations. So if you want to help Karen out, listen, this shit's expensive. And I know there's a lot of stuff about like, oh, this is covered by the insurance company. It should be covered by the insurance company. Look, Karen Reed basically at this point is, essentially indigent. She's been raked through the coals, lost her house, lost her 401k, still probably has exorbitant attorney bills. I'm sure when Alan Jackson flies in to do any work for her, I'm sure that costs money as well too. And look, they open up a civil defense fund. I'm pro Karen Reed. I have the link to my top of my chat, so if you want to help her out, absolutely. I'm super pro Karen Reed. So it just gets more money to keep fighting back the corruption here in Norfolk County. Her name is not free and clear yet until this is all over, and it's going to be a while. So I'm here to help. Anything that I can do to help fundraise for her, I'm absolutely there, and I'm going to help out. So if you want to help out too, like I said, the link is at the top. You can click on that and donate and pass it around. So it has been launched. It was launched on X about an hour ago. Nick Rocco, and it says right at the bottom, it's been organized by Alan Jackson, as the first one was as well too. So again, if you want to help Karen out, please click the link at the top of the chat and you can donate. Hello. Yes. Well, that's why we're here. Still a long battle ahead for Karen. Civil trials, attorneys, car service, all that stuff, food, all costs money, gas, and just trying to pick up the pieces and get her life back together again. So, look, Nick Rocco launched it today. I'm out here to support it. I'll drop the link as many times as I can. If you all want to donate and give back, that's your priority to do that. So, all right, let's get into tonight. So tonight I wanted to go back through Brian Higgins' testimony, and I went through and made some notes about what was in the civil lawsuit. I'm going to bring this up here in a second. So I made some notes, and this basically outlines Brian Higgins in the civil suit and, what Karen Reed and her team have put in that suit and have alleged that Brian Higgins' involvement. So we'll look through this, and then we'll go through Brian Higgins' cross-examination. And I plan on doing this with all of the defendants in Karen's civil case. So, all right. So we have Brian Higgins is a House defendant, a law enforcement officer familiar with criminal investigations, a participant in the after-hours gathering at 34 Fairview on the night of John O'Keefe's death. He is grouped with Brian and Nicole Albert and Jennifer McCabe and Matthew McCabe as part of the alleged conspiracy to conceal what happened inside 34 Fairview, Brian Albert's house. We have the alleged involvement in the cover-up presented during immediately and the alleged altercation. So let's see. The complainant, which is Karen Reed, states Higgins was one of the individuals inside the house when O'Keefe was injured and was part of the group that decided to deny O'Keefe ever to enter the home. We have the suspicious trip to the Canton Police Department, which we found more details about in the second trial. The video, remember seeing Higgins walk out with his bag, taking that time inside the Jeep where he said that he was just moving vehicles around. And that turned out to be false. There was a lot more to that story. So Higgins allegedly left the house in the middle of the night and drove to Canton PD, where he wore a hoodie to obscure his face. He entered offices inside the building. He moved a large duffel bag between vehicles. The complainant characterizes this as a covert and unexplained behavior. Again, the complainant is Karen Reed in this civil case. So the phone coordination with Brian Albert, obviously we heard multiple times about the butt dials. After leaving the police station, Higgins and Brian Albert allegedly called each other multiple times, spoke at 2:22 a.m., later denied the calls existed, and then jointly claimed that they were just butt dials. The lawsuit asserts that these synchronized denials were rehearsed and false. Then we look at the phone destruction. The complainant alleges, again, Karen Reed alleges, Higgins destroyed and discarded his phone, eliminated evidence relevant to the O'Keefe's death and the alleged cover-up. And we look at the coordinating and false narrative. Higgins allegedly agreed to the plan that the O'Keefes never entered the house. Reed dropped him off and left him outside. His injuries came from a hit and run and cold exposure. Obviously, we know that is false and has been debunked. The narrative was allegedly created to shift blame on Karen Reed. And then we have the denial and controlled interview. Higgins was not interviewed until February 3rd, nearly a week after the incident, and did so at his lawyer's home. He allegedly provided selected, chosen messages rather than the full records. And obviously, we heard about what he did, went and used federal resources, a federal machine, to selectively pull text messages from his phone. Why not just give up your whole phone? Oh, that's right. You went down and destroyed your SIM card and the phone and threw it in the garbage on a military base. So we have the legal claims and specifically including Higgins. Higgins is named as a defendant in several counts, including one, Massachusetts Civil Rights Act. He allegedly interfered with Reed's constitutional rights by participating in staging the body, lying about O'Keefe entering the home, and eliminating evidence. You look at the common law malicious prosecution. By helping manufacture a false narrative and destroyed evidence, Higgins allegedly contributed to Reed's wrongful indictment and arrest. You have civil conspiracy, and these are all the accusations that are laid out in the civil trial. He is accused of joining coordinated efforts with the Alberts, McCabe's, and investigators to frame and deflect criminal exposure. Evidence, you have evidence spoilization. Destroying his phone is cited as intentional eliminating potential exculpatory evidence. I mean, that's like really weird, man. Like, that's really sus. After a big incident happens at a house, you go out and eliminate your phone. You destroy your phone. That's like super sus. And then I'm only going to pull selected text messages off and give that to law enforcement. I don't know, bro. So then you have how the lawsuit positions Higgins strategically. The complainant, who was Karen Reed, portrays Higgins as a participant, not a bystander, someone with law enforcement knowledge, making his actions intentional rather than naive, a bridge between the house defendants and the police. A person who destroyed a phone may have held incriminating digital evidence and is a key figure in the timeline manipulation. His alleged conduct strengthens the lawsuit overreaching theme, protecting the social circle inside the house matters more than discovering what happened to O'Keefe. And then why Higgins matters legally. The alleged action provided motive evidence, self-protection, consciousness of guilt. That's the phone destruction and the cover-up Canton police trip. Participating in the agreement. That's the call with the Alberts. Coordinated story, opportunities to influence in the investigation, evidence of coordinated obstruction. He is not framed as the ringleader, but is also essential accomplice in the alleged cover-up. So that's basically the portion that Karen's team and Karen herself laid out in that. Hang on one second. Let me just stop sharing my screen. That laid out inside her civil suit. So that's kind of the Higgins portion. So now I want to go back and look at his cross-examination testimony. And I plan on going back and doing this with all of the defendants that are going to be named in her civil suit. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit tonight, but we can go back and watch through this. And again, if you're just jumping in, let's see. Yeah, I mean, Linda's saying, look, Karen's not really free until this is all gone, and will probably take years of justice for John O'Keefe will prevail. Absolutely. I mean, her name does not clear until all of these lawsuits are over, until all of the truth is out there. And the thing that's great about a civil case is you get everything. So I look at all these defendants and say, I hope you're all ready, and, I hope they're ready to give up all of these records, because you're not going to be protected like you are in a criminal case. Civil is a lot more leniency there, and you can get a lot more discoverable evidence. And wait until depositions. That's going to be really interesting too. All right, let's go through and look at the cross-examination testimony, trial 1, Brian Higgins. Let's watch Alan Jackson go to work. And again, if you'd like to help Karen read out her civil defense case, fund is pinned to the top of the chat there. And if you want to make a donation, please feel free to do that. Here we go.
All right, Mr. Jackson, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Who did you come here today with, Mr. Higgins?
Who did I travel to the courthouse with?
Who did you meet here?
An attorney, my attorney.
Is there a reason that you felt compelled to bring an attorney with you for your testimony as a witness in a homicide investigation?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Trial, I should say.
Sustained.
You brought your attorney with you who's sitting right behind you, correct?
That is not my attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were his attorney. My mistake. Where's your attorney?
I don't know. He might be in the courthouse.
Is he in the building?
I don't know where he physically is right now.
Okay. Without telling me anything that you said to your attorney, did you meet with him this morning before your testimony?
Yes.
Did you meet with him during the break? Again, don't tell me what you talked about, but did you meet with him during the break when we took a break a few minutes ago?
Yes, I did.
You know what I hate? I hate recently how YouTube has changed the names in the chat. It just looks weird. Like, just go back to the way that it was. Like now we have these @ signs. I hate it. And I don't even know if there's a way that you can change it. It's super annoying. But it's like YouTube always has to mess up a good thing. And thank you, Sophie. Thank you for being here. All right, here we go.
And obviously the subject matter, again, without telling me any communication, the subject matter was your testimony here today, correct?
No.
How many conversations have you had with Mr. Lally about your testimony or your proposed testimony in anticipation of you testifying today?
1.
When was that?
That was on Monday.
How long was that conversation?
I would say under an hour and a half.
In person or over the phone?
In person.
Where was that conversation?
That was at the DA's office.
Who else was there?
My attorney, victim witness advocate, I believe her name is Kristen Collins, ADA McLaughlin, ADA Lally, and Lieutenant Brian Tully from the Mass State Police.
Anybody taking notes?
I did not. I don't know if anybody was taking notes.
Well, you were sitting there watching Lieutenant Tully. Did he take notes?
Not that I saw, no.
So you had an hour and a half long conversation with the prosecution team and a police officer witness, and you're telling me that you did not see anybody taking a single note down. Is that right?
That's correct. I did hand something to Lieutenant Tully, but he didn't take any notes in reference to what I handed him.
What'd you hand him?
I handed him a piece of mail that I got at my residence.
Anything having to do with this case?
Well, I believe so.
Was that turned over to Mr. Lally?
No, I turned it over to State Police.
Your Honor, may we approach for a second?
Yes.
Other than that piece of mail that you handed to Lieutenant Tully, was there any other exchange of documents or anything like that? Were you showing?
By the way, the trial channel kicks ass. They went through and cut all this up, cut out all the sidebars. I love it.
In anticipation of your testimony?
The only thing I can be recalled showing was a photograph of the exterior of 34 Fairfield Road in Canton.
What about the text messages that you just went over extensively? Were you shown those?
I was shown a pile of papers, and I was advised that those text messages were going to be, they were put into another format, so they were easier to read.
And these are the screenshots that you've just described on the exhibit.
Well, as I said, he showed me the stack, said they were the text messages. They were in a different format, but I'm assuming that's what they were.
What was your assignment with the ATF back in 2022?
I was assigned to the Bridgewater Field Office, but I was full-time with the United States Marshal Service doing fugitive apprehension.
And where were you physically officing out of?
Well, I continue to maintain the office at Canton PD.
Okay, but to be clear, you were a federal officer not a Canton police officer on some sort of a task force with Canton PD, correct?
No, I was not on a task force with Canton PD.
But you did have an office at Canton PD based on a personal relationship that you had with the chief, correct? He gave you this office as a courtesy. Is that right?
So if I can explain,
Yes or no? Was it provided as a courtesy?
well, working partnership, I would say.
And you've been asked that specific question in a prior hearing, correct?
Yes,
In June of 2023, right?
yes,
And you explained, look, there was a personal relationship that I have with Chief Berkowitz.
I did.
It was born out of
Tragedy,
a family tragedy that he was aware of.
horrible tragedy, yes.
And based on that personal friendship and that personal relationship, he offered you the convenience of officing out of Canton PD.
I would say that's a good summary.
And in addition to just having an office there, you also had a key card access, correct?
I did to get in and out.
What was the name that you used? You said it was a proxy card?
I think it's called, I think in the IT world, it's probably called a proxy card. That's what I know it to be.
So you had both a physical office and full access to Canton PD, all based on the friendship and relationship and convenience. The friendship and relationship you had with Chief Berkowitz and the
Well, that's all by design. That's all by design. Nothing. You know, I like the way he plays dumb. Absolutely. That's all by design, though. That's all lawyer. That's all lawyered up. And obviously we saw that at the end of this testimony. Remember, my mouth absolutely dropped when he had his lawyer come up there and they did the proffer. My mouth absolutely dropped. It's like, what the fuck is going on? All right, here we
convenience
go.
that he wanted to give you for having that office there, correct?
No, I wouldn't say full access. I had access to certain areas within the department.
Well, you certainly had access to and from your office.
Yes,
Yeah, ingress and egress to the Canton Police Department.
yes,
You could go in and out of the Sally Port.
I could.
You could go upstairs to Chief Berkowitz's office.
Yes,
You could go downstairs to the dispatch area, which is on the first floor, correct?
yes.
And then you could go out to the Sally Port, into the Sally Port, across that garage, those two bay doors at your leisure.
Well, that would exclude the evidence room, the arms room, and places like that. I didn't have access to those places.
Right. But the places that I just mentioned, you did have access to.
Yes, absolutely.
You'd had that office for what? Back in January of 2022. Probably had that office for more than 3 years.
I would estimate probably sometime around 2018.
2018. Okay,
Yeah.
not 18 years. 2018.
No, 2018. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My apologies.
Yeah, maybe close to 4 years.
Yes.
I want to turn your attention, Mr. Higgins, to January 28, January 29, 2022. By the way, I should ask another foundational question. Are you currently still at ATF?
Am I employed by ATF?
Correct.
Yes, I am. A special agent. Yes.
What is your current billet or your assignment?
Objection.
Is that something you're free to discuss?
I'm assigned to division operations at this time.
Okay, what does that mean? You're taken out of the field?
Was I taken out of the field? Yes.
Are you no longer in the field?
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike.
Sustained, let's move on. You may be able to come back to this.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to turn your attention now to January 28, 29 of 2022. You recall those dates?
I do.
You've been living with those dates for the last couple of years.
Like a nightmare.
John O'Keefe's body was found outside your friend Brian Albert's house on the morning of January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
You've previously testified that on January 28th, you had gone to New York for this memorial service, correct?
Funeral service. Yes.
The funeral service, not the memorial. You separate the two.
So, well, the wake would be the night before. Funeral, I call them the services. It wasn't a memorial. Memorial to me would be more of like an annual thing. This was the services.
Understood.
Just want to be clear.
So you went with Brian Albert, Kevin Albert, and Eddie Hernandez. Is that right?
Yeah, right, Debbie. See how they didn't want to talk about that? The desk duty. See how they didn't want to talk about that? See how like ashamed he was? He put his head down and went. And then, you know, Bev obviously protecting, always protecting. Says, oh, you might be able to come back to this, Mr. Jackson. Trust is love. Says, I can only hope the truth out of the civil case. John O'Keefe gets truth for justice. We know he wasn't hit by a car. However, he deserves justice. Absolutely. 100%. And it's been proven. It was proven in a criminal case that Karen did not hit John. Absolutely prove that. I really think the McAlberts and everybody else that's involved in countersuing Karen and the O'Keefes are going to really have a hard time displaying that and showing that. All right, here we go.
Traveled down there myself, but I met up with them.
To go to the services.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you and Brian Albert and Kevin Albert sort of run in the same social and professional circles?
I mean, without speaking for anybody else, I think we know a lot of the same people.
Go to some of the same holiday parties, for instance.
Yes.
Go to some of the same events. whether they're law enforcement events or otherwise.
Retirement parties, yes, things like that.
Might meet up at a bar and have a social drink together.
Yes,
Might share a meal together, correct?
yes.
And you would agree that you
All right,
particularly.
let me pause real quick. Let's see. Christy says, I wish that Nan was here to talk about the legalities of the McAlbert's filing defamation case. They couldn't claim a fifth right. They had to be deposed on the record. No. Well, tomorrow night she's going to be joining us along with Todd McGee live at 7 p.m. So we'll be able to talk about that then. And that is something that we're going to be getting into tomorrow. So please come check us out, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, here we go.
They are pretty well connected to the Canton law enforcement community.
Could you qualify that, explain that?
You know quite a few cops, right?
Well, it's a small department, so I do know everybody in the building in some capacity.
Okay, so my question is, you know quite a few cops in Canton.
I do.
You're pretty good friends with, matter of fact, maybe best friends with the chief of police, former chief of police, Kenny Berkowitz, correct?
Yes,
You know Brian Albert, he's a Boston police officer.
yes,
You know his brother, worked with his brother at Canton PD, correct?
yes.
So it's fair to say, back to my original question, you're relatively well connected in the law enforcement community, the fabric of that community in Canton. Is that right? Is
Well, I think that comes with working with people, yes.
that yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. As a matter of fact, you've even given a personal toast at one of these events, these retirement events, et cetera, correct?
Chief Berkowitz, yes.
And during the course of that toast, you even said, if you want to hide a body, Kenny Berkowitz is your man, correct?
Crazy, right?
Did you say that? Did you say that?
I don't recall that.
You don't remember telling that joke in front of a room full of folks?
I don't.
If you want to hide a body, Kenny Berkowitz is your man?
I don't.
You will agree that some of your closest friends are some of the more powerful people in Canton in terms of politics and law enforcement, right?
Objection.
Ask it differently.
At that same retirement dinner, there were members of the DA's office there, correct?
Yes,
Matter of fact, the DA, Michael Morrissey, was there.
I believe he was at one point.
All right. And that was the same event that you gave either a keynote speech or some sort of a speech for Chief Berkowitz's retirement. Is that right?
Yes.
How long have you known Brian Albert specifically?
I think I had some interaction with him when I was on the Cambridge Fire Department in my capacity in fire investigations. And then I would say pretty much through my entire career at ATF, you know, I came into contact with Brian.
Give me a number of years.
Well, I've been with ATF now for 15 years. I've probably known him at least that whole time.
You'd say that you have both a social and professional working relationship with him?
I would say, yes, he's a friend.
Frequently drink together,
We have drank together. I wouldn't say frequently, but yes, we've drank together.
break bread together, have meals together.
Absolutely had lunch.
As a matter of fact, you were asked at a prior hearing whether or not you could put a number on the number of times that you've had drinks with Brian Albert. And you said somewhere around 50 or something like that. Or under, actually you said under 50.
Under 50, I think I might have said 30.
And that was in 2 years, correct?
Yes.
So not under 50 in the entirety of your relationship, a 15-year relationship with Brian Albert, literally in the prior 2 years when you gave your testimony in June of 2023. In those 2 years, you met up with him and had drinks under 50 times.
Was that a question?
Yes,
Could you rephrase it?
sure. Is it true that you testified, answer, quote, I mean, in 2 years, I mean, maybe under 50, end quote. That was your testimony to how often you socialized with Brian Albert, correct?
So we socialized more when I started working with his unit.
Okay, so my question is, well,
I don't know the exact number, but yes, we socialized. Absolutely.
that's all I was getting at.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, there's no secrets here, right? He's my friend.
Mr. Higgins, let me ask the questions. I get it.
That's fine.
I get it. You also know Brian.
No secrets here. Okay. There's no secrets here. I love it.
Albert well enough to know what his relationship with, for instance, the other guy that you traveled back from New York with, Eddie Hernandez.
Really?
I do know Eddie Hernandez. I actually know Eddie the longest out of everybody.
So you knew Eddie, or Officer Hernandez.
Objection,
before
Your
you
Honor.
ever
Ask the question.
You knew Officer Hernandez before you ever knew Brian Albert.
Yes.
You knew him before you even knew
100%.
Kevin Albert.
Yes.
And you're aware that there was a physical altercation
Objection,
between
Your
Brian
Honor.
Albert and Eddie Hernandez that you're aware of, correct?
The objection sustained.
Are you aware that Brian Albert had gotten into a fist fight with Eddie Hernandez?
Objection.
Sustained.
Were you at a Christmas party when that happened?
Objection, Your Honor.
See, they're trying to keep out the violence. They want the prosecution wants Higgins to come off as this clean, squeaky guy. You know, that's why Lally's objecting to all of this. You know, keep all this off the record. We don't want any violence. We don't want to show that Higgins had any violence. No, no motive to go in and hurt John in any way.
Sustained is to that form. To be specific.
Have you ever been at an event with Brian Albert and Eddie Hernandez and seen them fight?
Objection.
Christmas 5 years or so before 2022.
Okay, the objection sustained.
You do know that Brian Albert has a reputation for being a fighter.
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, they want to make him look like Higgy Bear. That's the thing, you know. Oh, he wouldn't be around any type of violent interaction. He wouldn't want to, you know, he wouldn't be around any guys that are doing anything like that. That's Higgy Bear. It's Higgy Bear. It's just this, you know, cuddly, safe guy to be around, right?
You were asked in a formal interview. Do you recall? I want to make sure I'm clear about some of your prior statements. You had a formal interview with some folks prior to your testimony at a prior proceeding. You understand what I'm talking about?
I'm tracking.
Okay. At the formal interview, which is what I'm going to call that.
Okay.
The formal interview, you were asked about Brian Albert and his reputation. Were you not? Yes or no?
Yes.
You indicated in that formal interview that even Chief Berkowitz was
Objection.
a little afraid of Brian Albert.
All right,
See?
so that
Keep it
is
all
the
out.
objection sustained. That's stricken. I'll see you at sidebar.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you, Honor. You're also relatively close friends. In addition to being close friends with Brian Albert, you're also relatively close friends with his brother, Kevin, correct?
I am.
Kevin Albert is a detective with the Canton Police Department. Is that right?
Yes.
And you've worked in the same physical office with him for a number of years.
Physical building.
Physical building, that's a better way to put it.
It's different.
Is that right?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that you've consulted with Kevin Albert on certain of his cases professionally. Is that right?
I've assisted.
And you've also socialized with him, shared drinks with him,
Yes,
gone out
I
to bars with him. Is that right?
Yes, I have.
It's fair to say that you know the Albert family relatively well.
I would say that I know Brian and Kevin the best.
On January 28th, you drove your Jeep Wrangler to the Hillside Bar to meet up with Brian Albert for drinks, correct?
I did.
You said you drank 3 to 4 whiskey sodas at the Hillside. Is that right?
It'd be Jameson and ginger, not whiskey soda.
My mistake. Jameson and ginger. Jameson is a Irish whiskey,
It is.
and ginger is ginger ale.
Yes.
Okay. What was Brian Albert drinking?
If I was to guess, a beer.
I don't want you to guess. Do you know what he was drinking?
No, I don't.
He was drinking.
He was
something?
drinking something.
Okay, alcoholic.
Yes.
You two were probably going round for round. In other words, finish a drink, get another round for the two of you. Finish it, get another round.
I don't think we. No, I wouldn't say we're going round for round.
So he was nursing one beer while you had 4 Jamesons.
Well, it would have taken. Say that again.
He was nursing one beer while you had 4 Jamesons. What you said?
No, he was probably maybe he had more beers than I had Jamesons. Is more what I would say.
Okay, so maybe he had 5 or 6 beers while you had 4 Jamesons,
I'm not going to put a number on it because I don't know.
but it was more
More than what?
than you.
Maybe. He wasn't there that long.
Well, it doesn't take that long to drink a beer, does it? And if you're sort of thirsty and in a hurry,
Is that a question?
everything I say up here is a question.
Okay.
Just presume
Well,
that.
all right. So
Well, that wasn't due, so.
So let's, question. Yes, Mr. Higgins, that was a question.
All right, let me put a question mark at the end of that.
okay.
Your memory that Brian Albert had more drinks than you did when you had those 3 to 4 Jameson and Gingers.
To be honest with you, I wasn't keeping track.
Man.
He left Hillside and you stayed, correct?
For a short time, yes.
I don't drink, but I don't know. Jameson sounds like really good. Is Jameson even good? I don't know. For the people that drink, I don't drink, but it sounds good.
You later changed your mind and ultimately decided to go to the waterfall. You finished whatever you're eating or drinking, you decided to go over to the waterfall, right?
Yes, because I'm always saying I'm going to show up and then I kind of do the Irish exit. So I decided it was a long day. It was an emotional
Irish
day, and I decided to join them.
Emotional.
Did you drive your vehicle over there
Yes, I did.
after having as many as 4 whiskeys?
Yes.
Brian Albert, did he drive himself?
No.
Well, I didn't see him. I dropped him off in Boston PVD district down there in Charlestown, and I'm assuming he drove back towards that way to meet me.
He wasn't with anybody else.
Not that I know of.
So he was drinking at the Hillside Bar and then got in his car and drove over to the waterfall as well.
I didn't see him drive over, but I assume that's what he did. Yes.
You went to John O'Keefe's house. I'm going to shift gears for a second. You went to John O'Keefe's house at some point to watch the Patriots game on January 16th, right?
Yes.
That was the time when you indicated that when you left, Karen gave you a kiss goodbye, correct?
Yes.
It's safe to say that that was not some hot, passionate, long kiss, but you think it was more than just a friendly peck, correct?
I wouldn't describe it as a peck. I describe it as more than friends. It was a kiss.
Well, you did describe it as a peck, didn't you?
When?
When you texted Karen Reed and she said it was just a peck, and then you texted back, I agree,
Figure of speech.
or the truth, right?
Figure of speech.
After that incident, it's safe to say, we've just gone through a number of them, you exchanged flirtatious texts with Miss Reed. Is that right?
Is the incident you're referring to when she kissed me?
No, I'm saying after that incident, yes, after the Patriots game,
Okay. Yep.
you exchanged flirtatious texts
We did.
with Miss Reed.
I did.
And that was over the course of a few weeks, couple of weeks, but just 9 days. Is that right?
So it was between the January 12th and I would say before the 28th, because the 28th she didn't respond, and the 29th she sent that last text
She
that John
ghosted me,
died.
bro.
Those weren't.
You've looked at the text, right?
I have.
You just looked at the last couple of texts.
I did.
The last text that she sent of any substance was January 23rd, right? Almost a
Well,
week.
I think the text.
Almost a
I think the
week.
text on the 29th, John died. There's substance there.
Okay, I'm not suggesting, I'm talking about after you said, well,
Yeah.
28th, right? The text of substance between the two of you, talking between the two of you, not the John died text. That substance ended on the 23rd, didn't it?
I'd have to have the text in front of me to agree with you.
I think it's right here, Mr. Jackson, right in front of the exhibits right there.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Okay, are you directing me to the 23rd?
I'm directing you to the last page. Just look at everything on it and tell me if that refreshes your recollection. This is the last substantive text about you and Karen before your well.
Yes, it'd be the 23rd at 9:40.
Okay?
Yeah, real quick. Question. Tried to donate, won't accept my card. It's good. Yeah, the defense website is totally legit. It has been put out there by Nick Rocco. So it has the Karen Reed, or it has the Reed family and Karen Reed stamp of approval. It has the Alan Jackson stamp of approval. You can keep trying. I'll just share it'll look like this. And I've dropped the link in the chat. And it says organized by Alan Jackson. And I've posted the link in the chat as well. So you can help out there or just click at the link at the top of the chat. All right, back to Higgy Bear. Just keep trying.
So it was 9 days of texting between the two of you, correct?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
might not accept the debit card.
And aside from the
Might not accept the debit card. I know some of those sites don't. So you might want to try a credit card. I used my credit card earlier and made a donation. So it took my credit card. It's fine.
the kiss goodbye, you two never had any sort of physical contact with one another.
Do you mean intimate when you say physical?
Correct.
Yes.
I'm not talking about shaking her hand, Mr. Higgins.
Well, I want to answer your question truthfully.
I would like you to too. You didn't have any physical intimate contact with Miss Reed, correct?
No, I did not.
There was no other hugs or kisses or certainly no sex.
No.
And when she said, I'm glad you came over tonight in one of those texts that you just read a few minutes ago, she was referring to the Patriots game with John there and a big crowd there, correct?
Yes.
Over the course of that week or so, Ms. Reed did explain her feelings about her relationship with Mr. O'Keefe, correct? In text messages.
During the pendency of our communication, she did express, yes.
And she indicated that there's a difference between being married to someone and dating someone, et cetera. We saw those texts. Is that right?
Yes.
She also indicated
You're
that
back.
in terms of the situation in Aruba, she was upset by that, but it's not that big a deal, correct?
It was clear to me she was upset.
And she said, I don't care too much about that other girl, right?
Well, at least that's what she said in text, yes.
That's what I'm asking you. Is that what she said in text, Mr. Higgins? It's not a trick question.
That's what she said in text.
Right. She said something along the lines of, I'm just trying to be realistic. There's cracks in the relationship. It's far from perfect. Is that right?
I think that's something she texted.
All right. And you'll agree that during the course of these texts, you were constantly asking for clarity and explanation from her. Were you not?
During our communication, I did ask for clarity.
Many times. You
Yes.
saw it, correct?
Yes.
And she pretty much wouldn't answer you, correct?
She was non-committal, I would say.
Which is why you were saying in your texts, why won't you answer the question? And she would parry and not answer that one either, correct?
Well, I didn't want to be stuck in the middle of anything.
That's not my question. I'm asking you whether or not she would answer your question about clarity specifically.
She avoided questions about text.
Right. And that was frustrating because you were very interested in her romantically at that point, correct?
I was attracted to her. I don't know that I would say very interested in her.
You texted things like, why did you get my number and reach out? That's a quote from the text we just read, correct?
I did ask that, yes.
You said, now what? Is that right?
Yes.
You texted, so now what? Correct?
Yes.
You texted, I would hang out, meaning with you,
Yes.
correct? You were showing interest in her.
Yes.
You were showing romantic interest in her.
I wouldn't say it was romantic. I was trying to vet it out.
Well, you weren't you weren't seeing if she wanted to go see a ball game with you as a buddy, right?
Wanted to make sure it was a relationship.
Not really, no.
No, you were showing romantic interest in her, weren't you?
I was trying to vet out what's
Vet
her interest in me legitimate. It was very normal for me to have that question in my mind when I didn't initiate this, she did. And I think it was a fair question just to try to find out.
I
You were
love this
showing
guy. He
romantic
has no game.
interest in Karen Reed, weren't you?
I was interested, but I don't think I was at the romantic phase.
Okay. When I say romantic, well, what do you mean by romantic? What's the romantic phase?
Sending somebody flowers?
Dating?
Well, there's a difference between dating and hanging out. I mean, it's kind of hard to date somebody when you have a boyfriend.
Mr. Higgins, well, not if both people are dating other people, right? Happens all the time, doesn't it?
Well, I think I asked that question too.
Right. That's not my question. My question is, you seem to have a problem admitting that you had a romantic interest in my client. Is there a reason for that?
I was attracted to her.
Right. Physically attracted.
I thought she was an attractive woman.
Romantically attracted.
I'm not going to go there. No, I don't agree with that.
Of course, you're not going to go there because that would put you in a very awkward position, wouldn't it, sir?
Objection.
Not at all.
So the objection sustained is to the form. You can ask it differently, and that answer will be stricken now.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. May I?
Yes.
You were sexually
Great.
attracted
I
to her.
forgot how funny
I
this
was
was.
physically attracted to her, yes.
Okay, sexually attracted to her was my question.
Well, I think in the text I said, you're hot.
Okay.
Wow.
So my question again, Mr. Higgins, you seem to not want to answer my question. My question
That's like high school chat. It's like something high school would say, texting, I think you're hot. You're hot. You're hot. So hot.
is, were you or were you not sexually attracted to my client?
Yes.
Okay.
Big.
You were saying
how-
things like, what do you want from me? And I want the real
seriously,
deal.
it's just admit it. You wanted to bang her. Just fucking say it. You wanted to bang her. It's like so uncomfortable. I feel like you're talking to like fucking a high school kid. Like, just admit it, bro.
Those are your words, correct?
Yes.
And the real deal with you would be to date her, to get involved with her romantically, correct?
No.
The real deal was what? What did you mean by I want the real deal?
Like a relationship.
What
A
kind of
relationship.
relationship? A buddy-buddy relationship? You just want to go like
This is the same thing everybody wants, a real relationship.
a romantic relationship, Mr.
Oh
Higgins?
God.
It's possible.
Right.
Your whole
And she
hand.
was answering with things like, when you said, now what? She answered, I don't know, correct?
Yes, she did.
When you asked, so now what? She answered, I'm sorry, when you said, so now what? She answered, now what? Correct?
Well, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't agree with you.
Giving you hints, bro.
If I'd like to
Take
see what
the
you're referring to.
Well, you just read it about 10 minutes ago. Would you quarrel if
I know, but you're giving me portions of it.
you were given portions of it by Mr. Lally as well,
Okay.
right? Did you text something like, now what? And she responded something like, now what?
I think on one occasion she did, yes.
Okay.
She's giving you hints, bro.
And you remember you just read a text where she texted, you texted, what do you want from me? And her responsive text was, I don't know. Correct?
I think that was one of the texts.
Again, with this theme of her being non-committal one way or the other. Is that right?
Well, that's not how I would interpret it as a theme, no.
Well, didn't you just say she was
It's like the notes used to pass in like 5th grade. The folded notes. Do you like me? Get this to her. Pass this to her. Do you like me? Yes. Right. Circle yes or no and get it back to me.
non-committal? That was your word, not mine.
I did, but as I told you, it's been a process of trying to suss it out and see what this was all about.
Suss it
Right?
out.
So when you were sussing it out and determining whether or not you were going to advance this romantic interest, she was sort of
can't.
non-committal, wasn't she?
Well, not one person
Circle
advances
yes or
it. I think
no.
that's a joint thing.
Yeah. Check yes or no.
When you texted,
How many ladies in the chat used to do those notes? There were the paper folded notes, and you send it over, but it wouldn't go directly to like the guy you liked. You would have to send it over to like 14 other people to get it, and then check yes or no or circle yes or no and make sure you get it back. Oh, I love it.
you want the real deal? She responded,
No
it doesn't exist, didn't she?
She did, yes.
And she never once in any of those texts expressed anger or hatred toward John Hickey, correct?
No, not at all.
But in fact, she indicated more of frustration with the immediate family. The kids, she didn't want to have kids.
In its totality, I would say yes.
And then on January 23rd, as you just saw, she just stopped communicating with you altogether, correct?
Until the 29th, yes.
Do you know what the term ghosted means?
I think I have a general idea, yes.
She sort of ghosted you, didn't she?
I wouldn't agree with that.
That was frustrating to you, that she just stopped communicating, wasn't it?
No, not at all.
You've been moving.
Dude, Alan Jackson just got raw. Just got raw on Higgy Bear. Just got raw on him. He's like, yo, she ghosted you, didn't she? Oh man, let's hear that again. He just went raw on Higgins.
Determining whether or not you were going to advance this romantic interest.
Like, bro, she
She
hates
sort of
you.
ghosted you, wasn't she?
Well, not one person advances it. I think that's a joint thing.
When you texted, you want the real deal, she responded, it doesn't exist, didn't she?
She did, yes.
And she never once in any of those texts expressed anger or hatred for John O'Keefe, correct?
No, not at all.
Matter of fact, she indicated more of frustration with the immediate family. The kids, she didn't want to have kids.
In its totality, I would say yes.
I go back too far.
And then on January 23rd, as you
Right
just
here.
saw, she just stopped communicating with you altogether, correct?
Here comes.
Until the 29th, yes.
Do you know what the term ghosted means?
I think I have a general idea, yes.
She sort of ghosted you, didn't she?
I wouldn't agree with that.
That was frustrating to you, that she just stopped communicating, wasn't it?
No, not at all.
You've been moving
I love
through this mindset of exploring a romantic interest with a beautiful woman, thought was interested in you, and just like that.
Oh.
It was done, right?
No.
Look at him smiling.
So what
He's like,
communication
"Ah,
did you
yeah,
have
she
with her
got me."
after January 23rd?
Well, she texted me on January 29th.
You keep saying that, but you know what I'm getting to. January 29th was her informing you that a tragedy had occurred. John had died, right? I'm not talking about that, Mr. Higgins, so I don't want to keep playing games.
All right, so that's what we talked about. No more of
Sorry.
that.
After the 23rd, or up to the 23rd, she had been texting back and forth with you pretty regularly. You just saw it, correct?
She also sent me a text with arrows saying the phone works both ways.
And as of the 23rd, she stopped, didn't she?
The texts were sporadic over those 9 days. I don't know if they would have stopped or they would have kept going.
Well, they didn't keep going, did they?
Well, John passed away.
You know they didn't keep going because from the 23rd onto the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, all the way to the 29th, she never texted, right?
I believe so.
She didn't respond to any of your texts, correct?
Well, she didn't respond to the text on the 28th Friday.
Mr. Higgins, before we broke for lunch, we were talking about the text exchanges and the communication that you were having with Ms. Reed in the days leading up to January 23rd. You recall that?
Yes.
It's fair to say that her text communications with you started to dwindle off in the days before the 23rd,
Oh
correct?
man,
They
sad.
lagged.
As a matter of fact, you reached out to her in an effort to try to prompt the conversation to continue, did you not?
I reached out to her, but I wouldn't say that's what it was about.
Well, you texted her, stranger, didn't you? Not once, but twice.
I believe so.
Take a look, if you don't mind, at this is page 4 you've just seen.
So he needs the.
I'm sorry. That was right in front of you. May I approach?
Please.
Thank you. Just a second. Easy to
Maybe I
find.
should just stay with Mr. Higgins.
Thank you. That's easy to find. It's literally the last page. Report permission may I publish?
Yes.
Does that look like a fair representation of what you're looking at? The last page of that series of texts?
Yes.
At the very top, could you read?
Awesome. Thank you,
Right,
Linda. Appreciate
the blue
that.
bubbles Starting at the top.
Haha, stranger.
And then what was the response from Ms. Reed?
Oh boy.
Hey, I was at the Hilly all weekend.
And what did you respond to that one?
I have not heard from you.
And by the way, if you look at the next date down, what's the date underneath? I have not heard from you.
The 23rd.
So this would have preceded the 23rd, correct?
Yes.
Then on the 23rd, and by the way, after you texted, I have not heard from you, she did not respond, correct?
She did not respond.
Then on the 23rd, she did respond with phone works, correct?
In the arrows, like both ways.
And then what did you text after that?
I just said, thought you were all set.
And how did she respond?
She said, we're talking? No.
That's all I have for that.
Okay.
Bring the lights back up. So clearly with that last text, her response was, in response to you saying, thought we were all set, she said, with talking, no, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Did that indicate to you that with flirting, yes, we're all done?
No, I didn't read anything into it.
Okay. But you did read where she said, with talking, no, correct?
Yes.
And then you responded, how?
I said, are you sure?
Did she respond?
No.
As a matter of fact, the next time you saw or communicated with her, she was walking into the Waterfall Bar on the 29th, late night hours of the 28th, went into the early morning of the 29th with her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
Now, you had discussed your flirtations, if I can use that word, that you had with Miss Reed with your friends, at least some of them, correct?
I don't recall that. No.
Do you recall that you openly shared the details of your interest in Miss Reed with your work supervisor at the DOJ?
Well, that was after I shared what happened, that she kissed me. Yes, I did share that with her.
And that was with
That was the first time.
that was with a person by the name of Kate Dowd. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that was before January 29th.
Yes.
And that's because your interest in Karen Reed, whether you call it romantic or sexual or whatever, your interest was something that was at least occupying your mind at that point, correct?
No.
It was occupying your mind enough to share it with your boss.
No, what I shared with my boss was the fact that she kissed me. That was it.
Did you discuss your flirtatious relationship with Karen Reed with Brian Albert at any point?
No.
Never.
No.
So you were on a 4-hour drive in a snowstorm back from New York with Mr. Reed. I'm sorry, with Mr. Albert. And your interest in Karen Reed never came up.
No.
Even though he's a good friend.
Yes, just something I wouldn't talk about.
You've been drinking since about what time? What time? That's a bad way to ask it. What time did you start drinking?
When are we at, Mr.?
I'm sorry, on the 28th, when you got back from New York. When did you start drinking?
Well, it wasn't until I swapped out vehicles and I went up to the hillside.
Okay. That would have been, give me a time frame. 9-ish?
Oh, and what were you doing when we were swapping out vehicles? Remember, he kept this very plain and very plain Jane in. And then what we find out in the second trial, he was doing a lot more than just switching vehicles. He had a large duffel bag. He's transfer things back and forth between these vehicles. Right after he left 34 Fairview. If you want to suss something out, suss that out.
8-ish?
You do.
It was dark. It was
Camp
maybe
PD.
in the area of 8 o'clock.
And what time do you think you got to Waterfall?
I couldn't say. I don't. It was after the hillside.
Before Brian Albert left Hillside, did he tell you that John O'Keefe had been invited over to meet them at the Waterfall?
No.
Was there any particular reason why you changed your mind and
true.
left the Hillside to go to the Waterfall?
Well, I think, as I previously testified, that it was because I didn't always take them up on their offer, and I usually do the Irish exit, and I decided because of the weather and everything else, and it had been a long day, that I would go down there and join them.
Didn't have anything to do with you knowing that Karen Reed might be at the Waterfall.
It couldn't have, because I didn't know she or John O'Keefe would even be there. I didn't know who was going to be there other than Brian's wife.
Do you have any text messages with Brian about going to the Waterfall?
I don't recall. He told me about it at the hillside.
And once he got to the Waterfall obviously before you did.
He did, I think, shortly before, yes.
Any text communications between you and Brian Albert about who was at the Waterfall or who was expected to come to the Waterfall?
No, not that I recall.
Now, you've already indicated, and I don't think we need to go into a lot of detail about this, but I want to ask you just in general, the mood at the Waterfall was good spirits, correct?
It was great. Band was playing.
You did not see any sort of tension between John and Karen?
I did not.
Nobody seemed overly intoxicated?
No.
You had several drinks before you even got to the Waterfall, right?
I think it was 3 to 4.
Did you drink additionally at the Waterfall?
I did, yes.
Did you drink whiskey or beer or what?
Whiskey.
Okay. How many do you think you had?
I couldn't put a number on it. At least a couple.
And ultimately you left from there in your personal vehicle and drove over to, that's the Jeep, drove
The Jeep,
over to
yes.
the Waterfall, correct?
I drove over to the Waterfall.
I'm sorry.
I was at the
Left
Waterfall.
the Waterfall, drove over to 34 Fairview.
I did, yes.
When John walked in to the Waterfall, were you already there?
Yes.
He greeted you, you indicated, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Karen walked in with him,
Believe so.
Yes.
but she did not greet you, did she?
I think they kind of went like that in different directions.
Right.
Yes.
Did she greet you?
No.
Right. So she walked over toward the corner of the bar, and John came over and greeted you, and then walked.
Jackson just playing it into that again. Like, dude, she wants nothing to do with you, bro. I love this. He just keeps playing into it. He's just embarrassing this guy on the stand.
Walked over and joined her, correct?
Yes.
Karen didn't stop what she was doing when she was over in the corner of the bar and come over and say hi to you.
I didn't have any interaction with her that night, no.
So safe to say that throughout that evening, once she was sidled up next to John O'Keefe or the friends that she's with, she never turned back around and came over and even acknowledged you, correct?
That's correct.
So she basically ignored you the entire evening.
That's not how I interpret it, no.
I didn't ask you how you interpreted it. I asked you what she did. Did she ignore you or did she pay attention to you?
Objection.
You can go ahead and answer that. Did she ignore you?
Beating this
No.
guy on the
So she
stand.
paid attention to you. Came over and said hello, shook your hand, gave you a hug.
Well, just because somebody didn't come over doesn't mean they ignored you.
Did she do those three things?
Hug? What was the other
Did she
thing?
say hello, shake your hand, give you a hug?
No, she did not.
No, she didn't do any of those things, did she?
No.
It's like you didn't even exist.
I think that's dramatic. No, I don't look at it that way.
She ghosted you, bro.
She ignored you or not?
No, she did not ignore me.
So what did she do to not ignore you?
She was
What's
work.
her interaction with you?
Can I answer now?
Sure.
She, in my opinion, she was working the room, talking to people, saying hello, catching up.
Right. The one person she didn't come over to talk to and say hello to and catch up with is you.
Well, I don't know that I was the only person, but I was one of the people that she didn't say hello to. Yes.
Treated you sort of like a stranger.
I don't feel that way. No.
She actually positioned herself away from you at the other end of the table on the opposite side in the corner. Isn't that right?
I don't know where she was all night. No,
Did
I don't
that
know.
upset you that she ignored you or didn't pay attention to you?
I did not feel ignored and didn't upset me at all.
But it bothered you enough to send her a text, didn't it?
No, it was a flirtatious
Well-
text. It was just, that was it.
It bothered you enough to send her a text that said, with 6 M's behind it.
Well,
And, well, correct?
right.
Well, it wasn't like that. It was, well, that's it.
Just, well, like a well in the
Right.
ground.
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you do too, sir. You meant, well, when are you gonna pay attention to me?
No, that's
Right.
not correct.
Well, why are you ignoring me?
Right.
It's not correct.
Well, am I chopped liver?
Objection.
All right,
Right.
that's
Look at 'em.
sustained. Mr. Jackson, let's move on.
I want to know about the relationship.
At the end of the night, the group basically discussed going back to Brian Albert's house. Is that right?
There was discussion at the table of like, were we going to go to the pizza shop or were we going to go somewhere else? And ultimately it was 34 Fairview.
Before you left, just so we're clear, when you texted, well, she ignored that text too, didn't she?
Can you say that again?
When you texted her, well, at Waterfall, she ignored that text too, correct?
Well, that was the only text I sent that night to her. Yes.
Okay.
She didn't respond.
That wasn't my question.
What,
My
what,
question is she ignored the text, correct?
well, I don't know if I don't know what her mindset was. If she purposely ignored the text or she didn't see it, I don't know. I didn't read into it.
Did she ignore the text, Mr. Higgins?
I don't know.
Did she respond to the text?
She did not respond.
So she ignored the text. This is making this guy
So-
look like chopped liver.
Everybody was leaving. Did you leave before they did, John and Karen, or did they leave before you did?
I don't know.
You said you were the first one back to Brian Albert's house, correct?
Yes.
Safe to say you were one of the first ones to leave.
I was the first one to leave
Waterfall.
the waterfall. Probably.
I mean, if you're the, if everybody's hurting out and you're the first one to get there, you're probably among the first to leave.
Most likely.
Okay. You never personally discussed going to 34 Fairview with, certainly not with Karen Reed, did you?
No.
And you never discussed it with John O'Keefe either, did you?
No.
You didn't say goodbye or walk over and give John a big hug or anything like that?
No.
Acknowledgement, did you?
No.
You just left.
That's what everybody was doing, just leaving.
Okay. You too, correct?
I did leave, yes.
And all you knew that at that point, all you knew was that you were going over to 34 Fairview. You did not know who else was invited over to 34 Fairview.
My impression was that it was an open invitation and I planned on heading over there.
But you did not know who else was coming.
I had no idea who was coming.
And you didn't say goodbye to John, correct?
I don't think I said goodbye to anybody.
And you didn't talk to him
The
about
Irish
coming over to
exit.
34 Fairview.
No.
Yet at 2:20 in the morning, you texted John O'Keefe, you coming here, correct?
At 2:20,
Sorry, 12:20.
I did.
And that had 3 question marks behind it, correct?
Yes.
Did you text Karen about coming over to 34 Fairview?
No.
So at 12:20 a.m., after you left the waterfall and made your way over to 34 Fairview, you were more interested in getting John to come to 34 Fairview than you were to getting Karen to come to 34 Fairview.
No, that's not how I would describe that.
But you didn't text Karen, correct?
No, I didn't.
But you did text John.
Yes.
You've indicated that you took your Jeep, your personal vehicle with the plow on it, over to 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
And you were among the first to arrive because you were doing that thing with the sort of playing around by plowing his driveway.
It was a sweep of the driveway. Yes.
And then you indicated that you parked in front of the house, correct?
I did.
I know you've been over this before, but I'm going to ask you one final time so it's completely clear. Exactly where was your Jeep in front of that house?
By the mailbox.
Okay. Can we have, with court permission, exhibit 66?
Okay.
This is a graphic representation of 34 Fairview, not a photograph. Just to orient you, do you see what's depicted in exhibit 66?
Yes,
Do you recognize it?
I do.
You see the mailbox, which is about right there.
Yes.
Okay. Where was your Jeep in relation to that mailbox?
So the back end of the Jeep, the rear, would have been around equal with the mailbox, and I was not blocking the driveway.
Okay, so you would have been about there, correct? If the right edge of that highlight is the mailbox being right there. Would have been about right there on the street, correct?
Well, that would have been the front of the Jeep. Where your laser pointer is, it would be the front
So the front of the Jeep was facing the flagpole,
towards Chapman Street. Correct.
and the rear of the Jeep was basically even with the mailbox strut or stanchion.
It was definitely past the driveway. Yes.
Okay. You indicated the plow was a 6 foot, what inch plow?
I think it was a 6'8", 6
Foot
foot,
meaning the width.
meaning the width. Yes.
How deep is that plow?
How deep? Like,
2 feet, 3 feet, 6 inches?
I mean, it's probably a few inches.
Okay.
It's light duty. It's on a Jeep.
Okay. And it's obviously curved and
Curved.
canted to the right.
No, it wasn't canted at all. It was straight down.
Okay, so it's not like I guess I'm picturing in my mind. I don't know that I've ever seen one. That the front of the Jeep is not parallel to the plow. In other words, it would plow stuff off to the right. Is that not right?
I'm not understanding what you're trying to communicate to me.
How is the plow positioned as it relates to the front end of the Jeep? Is it perfectly parallel to the front end, or is it canted one way or another?
So when you're driving straight locally, where you're not going to have to worry about overheating the Jeep, I would.
It's a good point, Nan. Yeah, it's a really good point. I like that. Because they did a lot of that in the second trial. Remember? They did a lot of that in the second trial. A lot of laser pointing in the second trial. And maybe they took that as a cue. Missed opportunities in the first trial. I think a lot of us kind of like breaking everything down and giving our commentary over it probably helped them. I know forever, what I was looking for into the first trial was the reconstruction. I thought that the defense was going to have that, reconstruct this, said accident or prove about the said accident not happening. And obviously we got that in the second trial. So I'm pretty sure, a lot of these shows talked about it. The media talked about it. Even their, when they got their collective minds together about, what did we learn from the first trial and what were our missed opportunities? They probably had a long list of things that they went through. Well, we've got to prove that this accident, didn't happen. Let's show it to the jury. And I thought that was the case. You had blue paint guy up there, and then you actually had ARCA, going back and forth in these demonstrations. I mean, that was the case. And they needed to do it. They needed to show it. All right, here we go.
Just have the Jeep plow straight. If I was on the highway for a long distance, I'd be worried about overheating. So I would canter the plow, tilt it up so that air could get through the front grille.
So in other words, you can control.
I can, yes.
How was it that night?
So
How was it canted that night? Was it straight or canted?
it was straight and straight on.
All right. When you walked into 34 Fairview, you indicated there were people congregated basically in the kitchen area, correct?
There were some people in the kitchen area, yes.
How many people were at the high top table that you described?
Initially, when I walked in, I believe there was Brian Jr., and he was flanked by one, possibly two females.
And you indicated that basically you were positioned in that area with your back to the door for most of the evening.
I was like I would describe this diagonally across from him and had my back to the door that I had come in, which would be the breezeway door.
But at some point, you had moved out of that kitchen area with Brian Albert, correct?
Well, I briefly went and looked at some photos.
Right. So you moved out of that area with Brian Albert alone to go to a different room.
Yeah, so I think his wife, Nicole, might have popped in the room for a second, but it was brief.
Did you have anything to drink while you were at 34 Fairview?
Well, when I got there, they didn't have any whiskey. I believe they might have put a beer or something else in front of me. And, I knew it was going to be a short night there because I just wasn't I'm not a beer drinker.
You've indicated in a prior testimony that you've never been upstairs in Brian's house, correct?
Would you say upstairs, like you're talking like second floor?
Correct.
Yes. No.
Okay. You testified to that in a prior hearing. Is that right?
Yes.
In May of 2023.
Yes.
And you said specifically, quote, "I've never been upstairs." Is that
Yes.
Right? All right. You understood when you gave that statement that you were under oath?
Yes.
You were telling the truth?
Yes.
Same oath that you took here today, correct?
Yes.
You indicated that the photos that you saw were on the first floor living room area. Is that right?
I believe that's where they were. Yes.
So the only floor downstairs from the first floor would be what?
The basement.
And the only floor upstairs from the basement would be what?
The first floor.
So if someone were to describe going upstairs.
This was like so cringy. I remember this part. They went over this like a bunch of times.
To look at the photos that you've described on the first floor,
We couldn't get
where
it.
would they have to be to go upstairs to look at those photos?
Are you saying on the first floor?
Correct. If the photos are on the first floor,
Yeah.
and someone said, we went upstairs to look at those photos, where would they have to be?
I guess upstairs.
The people would have to be upstairs?
Well, the photos would be upstairs. Is that what you're saying?
Where are the people? Where would the people have to be to go upstairs to the living room to look at the photos?
I'm not understanding the question.
If the photos are on the first floor, Mr. Higgins,
Yes.
the only floor beneath it is the basement,
Okay.
and someone says, we went upstairs to look at the photos, where would they have to be?
Well, who said they went upstairs?
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you can save this for argument. Next question, please.
If Brian
You're saying
Albert
that-
said you went upstairs to look at the photos, where would you have to be?
Sustain.
In the basement.
Now, Brian Albert had a weight
It's
room
so
someplace in the
cringy.
house, right?
Yes.
And a gym.
I guess he called it a home gym
Where was that?
in the basement.
Had you ever been down to that basement before?
Yes, one time.
That night.
When was that?
That was during the twins' graduation party. Summertime.
Sometime before
Sometime before. Yes.
summer of 2021.
Maybe.
So if Brian Albert testified that
Or could
you've
it-
never been in the basement, that would not be accurate.
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, you do recall giving testimony
He's like, why would Brian say that?
at another proceeding on June 1st, 2023, correct?
Yes.
And of course, the same thing applied. You were under oath. Is that right?
Yes.
You knew that it was a crime to lie under oath
Yes.
in that proceeding. During the course of that proceeding, you were asked who was in the house and who you saw come into the house, correct?
Yes.
And during the course of that testimony, you admitted that you observed a tall, dark-haired male enter the Albert house that night, correct?
I believe that was in reference to ask to somebody's brother in a pickup.
Ow.
I don't know if that was during.
All I'm asking you, Mr. Higgins, is did you say that? Did you say a tall, dark-haired male entered the house while you were there?
I said they might have.
Did you say they might have?
Yes.
My glasses.
And that was in reference to somebody's
Let me ask this
brother.
one, John.
Yes.
It's in reference to John O'Keefe.
Isn't it true that you indicated that a male showed up who may have been Julie Nagel's brother, correct?
I said might have. Yes.
Right. But there was no question in your mind that a male did in fact show up. And you described him as tall and dark-haired, right?
Yes.
You were asked, a male showed up where? And you answered, quote, showed up at the house that I didn't know. I think he was there very briefly. I was half paying attention to it. Question, did that male come inside the house? Answer, I believe he did. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So a male did come in the house that night, correct?
No, I said I believe he did. I wasn't sure.
Well, when you testified at the prior hearing, you were asked, so you saw someone else come? Question. Answer, somebody else. Yes. End quote. That's what you testified to under oath, wasn't it?
Is that in reference to that?
What page are you on, Mr. Jackson?
Page 485, 486, I believe. Yes. If I may, approach.
Yes.
Thank you.
Look at the top part that's been highlighted. Mr. Higgins, do you have that in mind?
I do.
May I approach?
Yes.
You were asked the question, quote, did that male come inside the house? You answered, I believe he did. Question, so you saw someone else come? Answer, somebody else. Yes, correct?
Yes, but I also said that I wasn't paying
Mr. Higgins,
attention.
I realize that you want to explain your answer. I've asked you a very simple question. Was that your testimony in front of another proceeding?
Yes, it was.
At another proceeding, which you were under oath?
Yes, it was.
It's a federal grand jury.
You also said that you only remember seeing that person come in briefly. And it looked
I
like
mean, this is pretty incriminating testimony to what he testified to. And I can't remember. Did they come at him again about this in the second trial? I think it was more the Canton PD focus that time, correct? Of like what he was doing at Canton PD. Did they, maybe the chat remembers, did they come at him again about that, about this section of testimony in the second trial? I can't remember, but I can remember them explicitly going after him about the video at the Canton PD and doing all the switching the bag, switching inside, switching the duffel bag back and forth between vehicles. Remember, he said he was out plowing. That never happened. Maybe someone can remember, because that would have been a good point to touch on again.
he was having a conversation with the two girls briefly, correct?
Yes.
You were asked how long was the person in there roughly, And you said it was quick. Less than a couple of minutes. I mean, it was quick, correct?
Yes.
And then you were asked what he looked like. And you said, I feel like they were a little bit taller. They had dark hair, correct?
Yes.
So you testified that a
Oh, that's
tall,
right.
dark-haired male came into the house, at least briefly, in your testimony, correct?
Yes.
Approximately when in the timeline of events
You know what it is? I always keep thinking like that video, they sat him through the video, but I'm wrong about that. Thank you, Nan. It's been a long couple of trials.
did that unidentified male enter the residence?
I don't know
I
what time.
was like in my mind remembering, like, I'm thinking like, did he testify at the second trial? And they put the video up and it wasn't. That was
It would have been while I was there.
theory.
When you gave your statement to the Massachusetts State Police, you didn't tell them about a tall, dark-haired male coming into the residence at 34 Fairview, did you, on February 3rd?
I don't recall.
You were specifically asked by ADA Lally when you testified before the state court
Yeah,
grand
that's
jury
right.
on April
You're right,
28,
Kelly.
2022, who else was present, correct?
Yes.
And you never mentioned a tall, dark-haired male coming into the house, did you?
No.
However, on June 1st, 2023,
This is pretty
at
incriminating
this other
testimony.
proceeding, you were specifically instructed at the start of your testimony that it was a crime to give materially false statements in that proceeding, correct?
Yes.
And that's the proceeding in which you admitted that there was a tall, dark-haired male who came in the house.
I
Yes
said
or
I-
no? Yes or no? It was
Can-
that proceeding.
Can you answer that, yes or no?
No, I can't, Your Honor.
Next question, Mr. Jackson.
The quotations or the quotes that I just read you and that you just looked at,
Yes.
that was from the June 1, 2023
No.
hearing, wasn't it?
I got
don't
that
know.
wrong.
That's what we just read, and that's another page. Just take a look at that page and see if you see a date on it, the first page.
I say it. Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
What's the date, sir?
June 1st?
2023?
Yes.
How long did you stay at the Albert residence in total? From the time you got there to the time you left?
Maybe like a half hour, less than an hour.
And what time did you leave? Say 12:30, you said?
I think I said between 12:30 and 1
Okay.
a.m.
And you indicated that you pretty much didn't say goodbye to anybody, right?
At the house,
Correct.
I just kind of left. I said, see you later. Turn around, left.
As a matter of fact, at that same hearing that we just looked at, your statement was, I made a beeline out of there, correct?
I don't know if that's the verbiage I used, but I left
Why the rush? Why did you leave so quick?
because it was a long day and I just wanted to go home.
Except you didn't go home, did you?
No, I went back to Canton PD.
Right. So it wasn't such a long day that you actually drove home. You went back to the Canton Police Department at 1 or 1:30 in the morning, correct?
To move vehicles, correct.
Well,
You didn't do that.
let's talk about you leaving. You walked out the side breezeway door, correct?
Yes.
You walked down the driveway.
Yes.
There's nothing obstructing your view at that point of the lawn to your right, correct?
I didn't look over there, but I would not think so.
Between you and the flagpole, in other words, there wasn't some mound of dirt, something obstructing your view. You could see straight across if you wanted to, correct?
If I wanted to, yes.
It's just basically a flat grassy lawn with a light dusting of white powder snow on it, right?
I don't know how much snow was, but there was snow there.
Yeah, you indicated that it wasn't even enough to stick to the pavement at that point.
Well, that's when I got there. Yes,
Well, you only stayed less than an hour, right?
that's correct.
So I'm assuming it didn't dump 3 feet in an hour, correct?
I think we can both agree that it's not free. It wouldn't have been 3 feet now.
Right. So it would have been a light dusting of snow.
More snow than there was there.
How far would you say it was from the edge of the driveway over to your Jeep?
From where the back of my Jeep was parked,
Correct.
maybe a foot or two, or it could have been even with the edge of the driveway.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's probably a bad question on my part. When you left the house, as you started to walk down the driveway toward your Jeep, how long of a walk is that? Across the yard to down the driveway to get to your Jeep?
Short,
30 feet?
maybe.
Okay. During the course of you walking out the door, heading to your Jeep, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary in the yard, correct?
No,
You certainly didn't see a body in the yard.
of course not.
Now, you get in your car, and it's facing directly toward the flagpole, correct?
It's facing directly up the street. Flagpole would be off to the 1 o'clock.
Right. So just a few degrees off to the right, the flagpole is, correct?
It's off to the right.
Just a few degrees.
I don't know how many degrees, but it's off to the right.
Well, you just said 1 o'clock. You're
Yes.
a former military guy, right?
I am.
Okay. 1 o'clock means 1 o'clock on watch. 12 o'clock is due north or right in front of you. 1 o'clock is just a few degrees to the right, correct? That's what you meant.
At the 1 o'clock, yes.
So you didn't see a body when you got in your Jeep.
No, I did not.
Then you turned the engine on, correct?
And the wipers, yes.
And the lights.
Yes.
And the lights lit up everything in front of you, correct?
Yes.
Still didn't see a body, did you?
No, I did not.
Sitting in the driver's seat, you put the car in gear and you begin to roll forward, right?
Yes.
But there was a plow on the ground that scraped for a foot, right?
Yes.
So you picked it back up,
Yes.
looked out the windshield to make sure the plow was situated, and continued to roll forward, correct?
I knew it was up and I continued to drive.
And as you continue to drive, you're looking ahead of you and probably to your left to make sure that there's no oncoming cars, right?
Well, I knew there was no oncoming cars. I was just driving forward.
Right. So your focus is directly in front of you.
On the road, yes.
And everything in your peripheral vision is right in front of you as well, correct?
Yes.
Nothing obstructing your view.
I mean, other than snow on the car.
Nothing obstructing your view outside toward the lawn. Wasn't another car parked there.
No, I didn't. There was no vehicles in front of me, no.
It was the roadway was relatively empty.
There was no cars.
And you didn't see a body then either, did you?
I did not.
And as you drive past that flagpole with everything lit up and everything in your peripheral vision, you still didn't see a body on that lawn, did you?
I did not.
You're a former firefighter, is that right?
Yes.
Did that put you in a position of being a first responder?
Yes.
And you're currently a law enforcement officer.
Yes.
That puts you in the position of being a first responder, correct?
I'm also a tactical medic, yes.
Which means that you have training to be an observer. You're a trained observer, more than the average person, correct?
Yes.
You look for things out of the ordinary. You look for things that don't belong. As an investigator, former firefighter, first responder, correct?
Yes.
And you did not see a 217-pound man bleeding out on the side of the road in the lawn or in the yard, just to your right by that flagpole, correct?
If I did,
I didn't
I
ask
would have
you
done
if you
something
did.
to help him.
I asked you if you saw one.
No, I did not.
And that's because there was no body there, correct?
I didn't see anything.
Because if there was a body there, you certainly would have seen
Who's
it.
he looking at? Why is he looking at Lally?
Where exactly did you go when you left 34 Fairview?
I went back to the Canton police station.
When you were asked that on direct examination, you said you weren't sure where you went when you left 34 Fairview, either home or to Canton PD.
No, that's not what I testified to.
Did something jog your memory
That
about
is-
where you went?
That is not what I testified to. That was in relation to where did I go after I left 34 Fairview the next morning.
Why did you go to Canton Police Department that morning?
What's the question?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why did you go to Canton Police Department that morning?
The morning when I left 34 Fairview, the Friday into Saturday,
Correct.
to move 2 vehicles.
There's been quite an evolution of that story over the years, has there not?
I don't understand the question.
All right, let's talk about that for a second. You had an initial interview with Massachusetts State Police on February 3rd, 2022,
Yes.
correct? And you indicated during the course of that interview, which was just a couple of days, 5 days after the events in question, that you left Brian Albert's house, went to Canton PD to, quote, fulfill some administrative obligations, end quote, correct? You later said, when you testified in front of the grand jury on April 28th, that you went to Canton PD to do, quote, administrative work, correct?
Yes.
You never mentioned,
I said administrative things.
you said administrative work was your testimony in your transcript.
I believe it was things, but okay.
Okay. Can we agree, Mr. Higgins, that you didn't mention anything about moving cars around, correct?
Well, that would be administrative.
So when you say
Moving
I went
cars
to Canton PD to do administrative work or administrative obligations, you meant moving your car, your personal vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Although you didn't say that you were going there to move your personal vehicle, right?
No, I said I didn't move my personal vehicle. I moved work vehicles.
Or either one. You just traded off vehicles, moved them out of the way, right?
I moved the purpose for going back there was to move 2 work vehicles.
And the reality is you had gotten there, you'd gotten Canton PD earlier in the afternoon and actually moved some other vehicles, traded vehicles, didn't you?
I swapped vehicles out. That's correct.
Right. And you left the vehicles that you now claim you had to go move exactly where they were, even though you knew a blizzard was coming, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So you didn't move the cars a few hours earlier, knowing that you just have to come back and move those cars a few hours later,
I was
right?
more concerned to go eat and have a drink because it had been a long day.
So wouldn't you want to move those cars early on so you wouldn't have to go all the way back to Canton and play, parking lot with these cars in the middle of the night?
Not really.
Mr. Higgins, you weren't actually at Canton PD to do administrative work at 1:30 in the morning, were you?
I was moving the vehicles. I'm sure it's on video.
And we'll talk about the video in just a second. You entered the Canton police station through which door?
I believe it was the door to the right of the Sally Port as you come in the main entrance.
And you made note of who was on duty that night, correct?
I didn't make note. I walked
Yeah,
by,
I
I
got a
saw
phone
somebody
call.
sitting in the
Take
control
this
room and then
right back.
just went about my business.
So you immediately knew that your friend, Officer Good, was working dispatch, right?
So do you need to hear something or? All right, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you. Mr. Higgins, if you went back to Canton PD at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, you would certainly be in a position to monitor anything that was happening at Canton PD at the time that at least you were there, correct?
No.
I mean, you would be inside the building, correct?
Yes.
With access to dispatch and anything else that was happening around that floor, that area, correct?
I did not go into dispatch.
You would have access to the interior of the police station at that time if you went back to Canton PD at 1:30 in the morning, correct?
I'd have access.
You could see if there was any activity going on, any calls, call outs, things of that nature.
I didn't have access to that. I wasn't looking for it.
Not that you were looking for it, Mr. Higgins. My question is more simple than that. If you were there, you'd know what was going on inside the building.
No.
So if you walked in, you would just be completely oblivious to anything that was happening. For instance, if troopers started amassing to go out to a call, you wouldn't see that.
Objection.
The objection sustained. Ask it differently.
If you were able to monitor, you'd be in a position to monitor what was happening at the station around 1:30 in the morning when you were over there, correct?
No.
So how long did it take you to get home from Canton PD?
A little longer from after I moved the vehicles.
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been 15 minutes. It could have been 20 minutes.
You live alone?
I do.
You did then?
Yes.
What did you do when you got home?
I think I had something to eat, maybe a couple more drinks.
Then you went to bed?
Was either on the couch or in the bed watching the news.
In any of the prior testimony that you've given in this case, have you ever indicated, ever, that you slept on the couch that night?
I don't know.
Well, you reviewed your testimony before you
Well,
testified.
those would be.
All right. I'm sorry. I have to go. I have to take this phone call. It's family related and it's going to take a little bit longer than I want it to. So I have to end the stream. I'm sorry. Let's see real quick. NH2, thank you so much. 5 gifted. I appreciate opening to the new members. I've got to go. I have to take this phone call. So I have to end the stream now. I will be back tomorrow night at 7 with Nan and Todd. And we'll probably end up finishing this week, or I don't know, maybe I'll restart it. I don't know. But I've got to go. I have to take this. So I will talk to everybody soon. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. I wish I could stay, but this is going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to. So everything is cool. It's just a longer conversation that I need to have. So I've got to go, but I will be back tomorrow night with Todd and Nan at 7 p.m. I appreciate you being here and hanging out this Sunday night. Come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'll be here. I'm looking forward to a great show tomorrow night. We're going to get into Karen Reed's civil case, of course, and we'll talk about that then. All right, everybody, I got to head out. I'm so sorry. I'll talk to everybody soon. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.